Coming up on today's episode, we're getting into the rookie QB debuts in the NFL. They had some impressive showings. We'll get into who I think will have the best rookie year, who I think will win the rookie of the year actually as well. And we're getting into Haason Reddick, requesting that trade out of there, New York. All that and more coming up. All right, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk from the Crib. I'm your host, Tanner Christian. On today's episode, we're getting into what's going on with Haason Reddick's recent trade requests coming out of New York, and who is going to be Rookie of the Year. And out of these rookie QBs, they debuted, had some great preseason showings. Which one is in the best position to have a great year? So first, if you're new, remember that new episodes are airing every Tuesday and Friday. It's available on all streaming platforms. Be sure to check out the website at sportstalkfromthecrib.com. And social media is Feel the Heat Entertainment. It's Feel the Heat ENT. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. So go give us a follow and shout out on there. So first topic of the day, we're just getting into these rookie QBs. They had some of them, really, majority of all of them, I would even say, had some impressive preseason debuts. We know it's preseason. It's just one little look at these quarterbacks. But I'm going to get into who I think will have the better year, who's in the best position to succeed with their respective teams, and who may even come out as the potential Rookie of the Year. So let's get into, we're going to start with, of course, the number one overall pick in Caleb Williams, who went to the Chicago Bears. And honestly, when you really looked at it, it's like, how much can he really adjust? There's concerns maybe towards his attitude or whatever, his commitment to, before the draft, all those rumors that were going on. Hey, he wants a stake in the team. He wants this, and that. And, the guy is pretty humble. He's painting his fingernails. There are some question marks regarding the guy. Just to, stir up some things about him. Like, hey, maybe true, maybe not true. Maybe we don't know him very well, right? So we had an impressive showing. He had, 3 or 4 play action passes over 80 yards. He had a nice little flip. You can call it a no look to DeAndre Swift and whatnot, but he looked pretty impressive, like commanding the offense. He's getting the ball out of his hands. You definitely see a difference between when Justin Fields was there and now with Caleb Williams. Now, Chicago has really helped him out, I believe, on the offensive side of the ball, and that's why I think it's going to be a battle between him and Jaden Daniels in terms of who's going to have the better rookie year. But Caleb Williams, man, is he in a position to succeed? We look at this running back core. He has Khalil Herbert, who I think is a very underrated running back, and he played well with Chicago these last couple of years. So then you bring in DeAndre Swift, who just got, with the Eagles last year. He had that 1 year. He was very productive, but Eagles were just in total disarray, especially in the last half of the year. They didn't really use him. He's had a great career in Detroit. He was often injured, but last year he was pretty much healthy the entire time. And that, to me, is a great 1-2 punch in the running back room to help him out, especially when it comes to the play action. You signed DJ Moore to an extension. You drafted Rome Odunze out of Washington. Then you bring in Keenan Allen, a great security blanket for him. If he gets into trouble, Keenan Allen's going to get open. I know Keenan Allen's at the tail end of his career. Maybe a couple productive years left. But he is going to be entering like a Larry Fitzgerald moment. And that's why his career has kind of gotten extended. And he was on record pace last year until Justin Herbert got hurt. The dude is still insane, and he's always open. He may not have the speed or the acceleration he once had, but the guy is an animal, and he's always open. So that's what better way can you help out a rookie in that? And he's still got a tight end, Cole Kmet, who's a great tight end. So he, on the offensive side of the ball, Caleb Williams is definitely in a position to succeed. I love it. We're in number 18. Hey, he's going to be damn good. You're in a division. NFC North could be a little tough dealing with, Green Bay and Detroit and whatnot this year, maybe even Minnesota, but You're in, you're in a tough division, but and he has to come out. He plays a lot of tough teams to start off as well. You're going to get a taste of some 49ers and all that whatnot, but I expect big things at Caleb Williams. I don't know, even if he does struggle, may not win as many games, right? He may not go to the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised with this team this year. And Caleb Williams, I expect big things. And it's put me up there. I don't know if he's going to win Rookie of the Year because Jaden Daniels to me are neck and neck. But if I had to put more money on, I would probably lean more towards Caleb Williams and having, that opportunity. He's in the best position to succeed this year. And a lot of these QBs are. A lot of these teams have, really done great, aside from one. We'll get into it. But Caleb Williams, expect huge things from him. I expect him maybe even get upwards. He may be the first. I don't think a Bears QB has thrown for over 4,000 yards in this season. He has the potential to do that. I think he can get close and possibly be the first. That's crazy to think about. The Bears have never, ever, ever in their history of their franchise ever had a franchise real quarterback that can be with them for years to come. And this guy can I think they finally got their guy. QBs that come in the hand, who do you think of? Jim McMahon and that huge Bears defense from the 80s. Maybe the best QB and quarterback in franchise history. That's kind of sad. But I think Caleb Williams is going to be that guy. Now let's get into number 2 overall pick, Jaden Daniels, who went to the Washington Commanders. He was my favorite quarterback going into the draft. I had him ranked ahead of Caleb Williams, actually. But like I said, they're kind of neck and neck to me in terms of this year. And don't sleep on this Washington team this year to make some noise in the NFC East. Because I think the Cowboys can struggle a little bit. I don't know if the Eagles can have that bounce back with all those questions on defense. Don't be surprised if Washington makes some noise, especially with this kid at QB. They made some minor moves and tweaks here. Of course, Brian Robinson Jr. is the running back. They bring in Austin Eckler, a little savvy veteran, maybe help out. Chris Rodriguez Jr., and I actually like the way he played a little bit last year. And Terry McLaurin, stop disrespecting this man. The guy has been playing lights out with no QB. So, Jahan Dotson, this is his second year. They drafted Luke McCaffrey out of Rice. They bring in the veteran tight end Zach Ertz. So, Jaden Daniels is such a multi-threat. He's going to be using his legs to escape. He has pinpoint accuracy. He could throw the deep ball. He threw that one down the sideline, in his debut. And I was like, damn, that guy just makes NFL throws already to the T. We saw that in LSU, and we're seeing it already in the first preseason game. I think he can really make some noise in Washington and the NFC that we really don't know too much about. There's going to be a lot of, to me, bad teams. I think Washington can get into that playoff hunt and have a decent year. And that's why I think Jaden Daniels could be in the running for that Rookie of the Year with Caleb Williams, because I think his numbers are going to surpass him because of his rushing capability and what he's going to get on the ground. He's going to get those rushing TDs, I believe, as well. So I think Jaden Daniels may edge him in the stat-wise. Because, I like Washington this year. I expect Jaden Daniels to do a very damn good job, especially in that NFC East where there's a whole lot of question marks, especially with the Philly and Dallas have kind of run that division for years. So I think Jaden Daniels is going to be that guy, man. I think he's going to have a great career. I think he's another one. These rookie QBs in this draft, we're going to look at this class and be wowed. I really believe we're going to be wowed in like 5-6 years from now. Like, these guys are all going to be really great, like the majority of them. And there was just so much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 QBs drafted in the first round, went high too. The top 15, like this. To me, it's just a great draft. And I think these guys are going to show out, man. I think that a lot of these guys will show out. At least 3 or 4 of them this year are going to kind of show. They're going to see some struggles. They're going to be rookies, of course. But expect big things out of Jaden Daniels. Now, the other one, Drake May, I'm not even going to talk about him. This is the one guy I believe is a bust. I don't see any way, shape, or form he can be successful, especially in New England. Who are you going to throw the ball to? Kendrick Bourne? That's your number one wideout. They still got Stevenson at running back. Third ring. They got Hunter Henry still at tight end. They didn't make any moves. They can't get any free agents to come and play for them because they just want to be these cheap deals, thinking they can find diamonds in the roughs all the time. Tom Brady's not your quarterback, so he's not going to make those guys look good. Bill Belichick's not there. And, I mean, I don't expect big things in New England. I don't see how their offense can score. You got Joe Milton out there doing crazy things, 6th round pick of this year's draft. And people are saying he's better than Drake May. So this is kind of crazy. Who knows whether all that's going to work out. But let's just not get too excited. I'm not even going to get into Drake May because to me, he was never impressive in North Carolina. He's not made enough starts. He's coming in blind. It could be a Mitchell. He's wearing number 10. It could be a Mac Jones thing again for you. Or it could be he reminds me of Mitchell Trubisky when he wore the number 10 out in North Carolina. He really reminds me of, I hope not. I hope the kid turns out to be okay. But he has Mitchell Trubisky vibes written all over him to me. And I just can't see him being successful. I think it was a bad pick by them, especially when these other QBs are on the board. So we're going to hop into the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, Sean Payton got his guy, Bo Nix. That was a QB from the very start over all these guys. And the guy was out there slinging it. He looked comfortable in the offense. He's run those RPOs very well. The run game was good. He had some good quick game. He was in rhythm the whole entire time versus Indianapolis. Like, to see that first action like that, third downs, boom. Quick touchdown out to Marvin Mims. And he just looked comfortable in the whole entire offense. And coming from a guy, this is the difference between him and Drake May. This guy started over 60 games in college. You know, he had that crazy year, what he had last year, like 45 Ts for Oregon. He started at Auburn, went to Oregon, got all those reps, and just slinging it everywhere. You know, that's what they do out in Oregon. Played very well. And his knowledge, I believe, is already there. He has that, you know, certain, I don't know, like, I call him a swag on him. The knowledge of the game. He knows the coverages. He can read the coverages. He was pointing out when they were in cover 3, if they were playing man. You know, he was pointing it all out. Even after his post-game conference, so he knows how the defense is kind of reacting and switching and adjusting on their defenses already. That's really going to help them. So Denver Broncos, you look at their offense, it's not, to me, that great, but Javonte Williams coming back, hopefully he's not injured. You got Samaje Perine in the backfield. Courtland Sutton, who was in rumors of trades even last year, is still on the roster, so he's a big target to have as a number 1 receiver. See if he can kind of bounce back. These last few years have been really disappointing for him. Marvin Mims Jr., his second year, speedster. They bring in Josh Reynolds. Tim Patrick's coming back. Remember, he was injured before the season started last year, a big target as well. They drafted Troy Franklin out of Oregon. So they're trying to see what they can do. So now he's got, hey, you got the same guy. Got one of the guys he threw the ball to a lot last year to kind of help him out. So I really like what Denver was trying to do a little bit for him. And him being Sean Payton's guy, the coaching staff, they this thing so highly of him. I expect some struggles, of course. I don't expect him to come out swinging. You're in a division with Pat Mahomes. I mean, that's going to be hard in itself. So, Bo Nix, I kind of see him being that third slot behind these rookies. I've seen him behind Caleb Williams, seen him behind Jan Daniels in terms of great. I would probably rank him as my third best QB as of now, because we're going into the other guy. Marcus Penix. I almost said the other word. But he got drafted by Atlanta Falcons. Of course, you know, Kirk Cousins got that huge contract. He had a great little start off against the Miami Dolphins. So Marcus Penix, another guy drafted 8th overall. Is he going to be that guy? I don't know if he's going to get any kind of playing time this year unless Kirk Cousins has some setbacks and he can't play or if he gets injured. drafted him, that high for a reason. I mean, giving Kirk Cousins $150 million, I don't understand that, but that's what they did. And but Marcus Penix, if he sees the field, I believe he'll be okay. But let's get into the other guy, J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota. Now, he didn't really throw the ball a whole lot in Michigan, but I've heard big things about this guy. I think he's another guy that's going to be doing well in Kevin O'Connell's offense. It just kind of fits. And that's what I believe all these teams went to the right designation. Caleb Williams, perfect fit for Chicago. Jaden Daniels, perfect fit in Washington. Drake May, not good in New England. Bo Nix, the perfect fit for Denver and Sean Payton. J.J. McCarthy is the perfect fit in Minnesota. You got Justin Jefferson on the outside. You got bringing Jordan Addison back in his second year. You got T.J. Hockenson. He's coming off that injury. We'll see if he can be ready. But you're bringing Aaron Jones to help run the ball. The running game was horrible last year in Minnesota because they lost Dalvin Cook because his career is, pretty much over. And so Madison just didn't really hold that role that well last year as well. But bringing in Aaron Jones to help, solve that. Sam Darnold may be the QB to start the season, but no way. I expect J.J. McCarthy, he needs to be out there and get some reps, even if he struggles in the first, half of the season. I want him to get reps. I want him to get better. I expect this guy to be to me, he was kind of like right there with Bo Nix. He was under that 3 or 4 range. I had him. And I expect big things out of Minnesota, too. I expect him to start. I expect him to get the majority of the starts because you really going to trust Sam Darnold, who couldn't do anything with the Jets, goes to San Francisco and gets in Kyle Shanahan's office, can't do anything over there, can't be on the field. I know they had Brock Purdy, but remember those questions about Brock Purdy and coming back from the arm injury before the season started. Oh, Sam Darnold, he's going to resurrect his career. Yeah, how'd that work out? But now he's in Minnesota. I don't expect him to be started because he's turnover prone. He's proven that time and time again. But J.J. McCarthy, I really like him in Minnesota. It's a perfect fit. So who overall is going to win Rookie of the Year? I'm just going to go with Caleb Williams. It's an easy pick, but don't be surprised if Jaden Daniels comes out of Washington and shows the world that Washington is now a great team in NFC East, and give the Cowboys a run for the money. Give the Eagles a run for their money. Look out for that. All right, now let's get ahead into what's going on in New York Jets. We're not talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're not talking about Robert Saleh. We're talking about Douglas, the GM, and a certain guy, Haason Reddick, that they required, back in February? Late February, going into March, they were like, hey, we lose Bryce Huff, our edge rusher, to Philly. Let me just trade for a guy from Philly who's on the team. He's got $14.6 million due on his contract. He wants a new contract, but let's trade for him. Conditional 3rd-round pick. It could be upwards of a 2nd-round pick if he actually plays. So he's come out, requested a trade, and Jets basically saying, hey, we're not trading you. You better start reporting because it's not happening. You're going to play under this 1-year deal. And who's at fault with this? Obviously, the Eagles signed Huff for a reason, right? To replace Reddick. Because he wanted a new deal then. So this notion that he didn't want a new deal and that he didn't discuss it, or his agent's not discussing it, or it wasn't even made clear to you when you traded for him, is a bunch of BS. Because when he was with Philly, he wanted a new deal. This is a guy that's getting 15 sacks a year now. He's played lights out. Really great pass rusher these last few years. And he was even good in the beginning. He was good in Arizona. He's been good all around. And I don't understand why he keeps kind of getting the bad part of the deal. But he's 29 years old. He's going to hit 30. I could see why maybe holding off on that. The Jets already have a good defense. But if you had him for the end of games that you're leading, coming off the edge, and you lose Huff, that's somebody you want on your team. Somebody I want on my team. But I understand the standoff when it comes to this contract. he's in a bad position. It's now in camp. Now he's getting fined every day he misses. You're in the preseason. Season's less than a month away. Man, if they're not going to give you the contract, they're not going to give you the contract. Now, something I would try to do to enhance it would be to put in like incentives into this last year of his deal. If you don't want to work out a deal, put some incentives in it to where he can make an extra few $1 million or something. But I know he wants a longer term deal because, like I said, he's in almost 30. So he wants to get one more deal in before he can't anymore. He's seeing all these money flying around everywhere in all these different positions and whatnot, all off season and summer long. So I can see why he wants a piece of the pie now. But you're in a bad situation, man. And they're not going to give you a contract most likely. You're going to have to report. If you don't report, then you're not playing. You're losing half your money anyway, if not all of it. I think he's already lost over $1 million of this deal by holding out. So, bad position, bad management, bad by the agent, bad by the player. Everything's bad all around, in my opinion. I don't think there's any one person at fault. When the Eagles grabbed the guy off your team for a reason, like that's just logical sense. So anybody saying it's all on Haason Reddick, it wasn't communicated to us. We just had a mutual agreement that you're going to play on the deal. Then we could work out a deal later when you report to camp. But you got to report to camp before us to work on a deal. That's once BS. He made this known in February. So, more Jets drama. We'll see if it happens. Let's see if the deal can work out. I don't think they were too worried about it because they're like, hey, Aaron Rodgers coming back to save us. But that's my take on it. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. And thank you all for joining me here on Sports Talk from the Crib with your favorite sports host, Darren Christian. Remember, new episodes are airing every Tuesday and Friday, and it's available on all streaming platforms. Be sure to check out the website at sportstalkfromthecrib.com and our social media networks at Feel the Heat Entertainment. That is Feel the Heat ENT. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Thank you all for joining me here. I'll catch you all on Friday.